Our Star Wars Legends. This is the first book in the timeline order. This is Star Wars Dawn of the Jedi Into the Void. Star Wars story that takes place about 25,000 years before the movie Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. With this book, before you read it, I want you to forget about everything you think about the Jedi, because the Jedi in this book are completely different. They aren't afraid to kill people. Instead of lightsabers, they carry customized swords, which is a little different. If you think about Star Wars, you automatically think about lightsabers and all the different color lightsabers and everything. But in this book, they have customized swords, which was hard for me to get into at first. But then it made me open my mind to what the old philosophies and how the Jedi started before the lightsabers and everything. So it made me start thinking about the old philosophies and how the Jedi used to live before lightsabers and like this. So this is 25,000 years before the Phantom Menace. So you gotta think about that. That's 25,000 years before Anakin's a little kid, Obi-Wan Kenobi's Padawan still, Qui-Gon Jinn, Yoda, Mace Windu. It's 25,000 years before any of them are even, none of them are even alive at that point. They have lightsabers, they wielded lightsabers and everything. But the Jedi in this book have swords, which at first I wasn't the biggest fan of, because like I said, if you think about Star Wars, you think about lightsabers and everything. But the more I read about it, the more the philosophy, it talks about their philosophy and everything, you start to think wow, this is what the Jedi might have started as. You never know what weapons they used back in the day, because you think about, if you think about Jedis or Siths, you think about the lightsabers. That's what Star Wars is really known for, is the lightsabers, like I said, and the different designs and the colors and everything. This book is about a Jedi Ranger named Lanoree. She is given a very important mission that will end up saving the galaxy. But in this book, she starts to realize why she was given this mission. Not only is it going to say the Jedi and all the people in the galaxy, but it's a very personal mission for her too. It's on a very personal aspect, and this book dives into it, and she starts to learn and see why they gave her this mission. She has to stop it. This dude's a madman. He's insane. But he's very brilliant, and he is very smart, and he's very dangerous in the way he does things, because he's very smart and he has everything so planned out and thought. The madman is bent on opening a cosmic gateway using dark matter that will risk consuming the entire galaxy and all the star systems. That's his mission. He wants to destroy everything. He wants to destroy star systems. The only thing I didn't like about this book, like I said earlier, is instead of lightsabers, they have swords. Which, once you read into it and you get to see that, the Jedi back then didn't use lightsabers; they used swords, which was interesting to see, how the old philosophy was, and they used swords instead of lightsabers, which was very interesting. Because at first, when I saw that it was a sword instead of a lightsaber, it was confusing, honestly, because I grew up watching Star Wars movies. I grew up loving lightsabers. I have a lightsaber. I love lightsabers. They're very cool. I love all the designs, the different colors they can have and everything. So when it comes to a sword, it was very different. It was completely different than anything I thought of a Jedi or Sith ever wielding and using in battles and stuff. I never thought for 1 second that they might have used swords beforehand. I thought they might have always just had lightsabers. I would rate this book a 7 out of 10. I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed getting to read about the old philosophies and the old way the Jedi lived, and seeing how the council held themselves and everything. And they think completely different than they do in the Phantom Menace and any of the Star Wars movies, or even the Clone War TV shows and stuff. They think completely different than the council that Yoda and Mace Windu and everybody is on. They think completely different. These Jedi are not afraid to kill people. They will kill people if it means that they will complete their mission, or they need to kill somebody's mission. They're 100% okay with it. They don't second guess it. But you see, in the new the movies and everything, the Jedi, that's not their way. They don't like killing. They don't want to kill unless they just absolutely have to. The Jedi in this book, if they have to kill you, they don't think twice about it. They will kill you to complete their mission. This book is the very first book in the Star Wars Legends timeline. So if you see right up here, it says the Legends. Most Star Wars will have here on the front, and it'll say Star Wars Legends. It'll give you a timeline, and it'll show the order. This is Star Wars Dawn of the Jedi Into the Void by Tim Lebbon. Loved the book. Loved it. Like I said, I would give it a 7 out of 10. Just because at first it took me a while to get into it, because the fact that it had swords and everything. Then the more I started reading it and everything, the more I started thinking like, hey, they might not always have lightsabers. It was my fault that I was that way. I needed to open my mind more and be more perceptive of how the Jedi could have lived. Because until you read these books and stuff, you get to see before the Phantom Menace and everything, like how they thought, how they held themselves, the old Jedi philosophy before the new one that Yoda and them lived by. You get to see the old Jedi philosophy, how they carry themselves, how the council acts. Because Yoda and them are very passive. They don't want to fight, but when they have to fight, of course, they're going to fight. And if they have to kill you, they will. They don't want to, but they will. Back then, they were not passive. They, like I said, if they had to kill you, or if they went to, like, you're going to start a war, they were not afraid to fight. They were not afraid to start a war. They were 100% okay with killing you. They didn't care about killing people at all. I enjoyed this book. It was a lot of fun, like, reading it and everything. I had fun reading it and thinking about like the old philosophies and like trying to put my mindset into how they used to live before. Like, because I grew up watching the Star Wars movies and everything with Yoda and all of them. So I grew up with the lightsabers and like seeing how the Jedi react and how their philosophy was. So reading this opened my mindset, was completely different. And I was just shocked by reading this book about how they used to live 25,000 years before the Phantom Menace. I never thought about how they lived. I started reading this book, and it was at first it was very like hard for me to accept the fact that they didn't have lightsabers and accept the way that they were. But the more I read it, the more I opened my mind to it. It was like started accepting it, like, hey, this is different than when I grew up like watching movies and stuff. But this is cool. Like, this is this is the reason why they are the way they are in the Phantom Menace and all the other movies. Why the Jedi live the way they have the beliefs they have. They live by their philosophies and everything. Is because how the Jedi used to act and the way they used to live and how they responded to things. It showed this book like you can tell the difference between the Jedi in the movies and stuff than the Jedi in this book. It's amazing. I really enjoyed it. I highly, highly recommend it. If you're a Star Wars fan, I definitely would say read this. The first Star Wars Legends book. So if you want to read them in order, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm going to read them in order and make reviews of them in order. But this one right here is the very first one in the Star Wars Legends timeline. And with that being said, hope everybody has a great day. Thank y'all for clicking on this video. Make sure that like and subscribe. Comment down below who your favorite Jedi are, who your favorite Sith are, what your favorite lightsaber color and design is. And just down below and let me know what y'all think about the Star Wars book reviews, and if y'all would like to see more and everything. I just want to say thank y'all so much for clicking on the video. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And if you watched to the end of the video, comment down below and put the timestamp and let me know what y'all think. And I hope y'all have a great day, and thank y'all for clicking on the video, and I'll see y'all next time.